What if I asked you, where do we spend the maximum amount of time these days? Well, we all know the answer. It's the internet. Now, if that be true, with whom do we spend the maximum amount of time on the internet? Well, don't let your imagination go wild. I'm going to give you a simple answer in this video. Hello everyone, welcome to yet another video on CSK Speaks. I am CSK and I am an educator. Well, the answer first. With whom do we spend the maximum amount of time while we are on the internet? You might be wondering, I'm talking about Facebook or social media or video games. No, it is much simpler than what we thought. And the answer is, it's our gadgets. Yes, they are our windows into the world of internet, isn't it? Personally, speaking of me, I spend my maximum time with my desktop computer. Yes, you heard that right. I'm still old school and I believe in my desktop. Of course, it has evolved with time, the kind of desktop I use, and these days I use an iMac. But it is the best device for me to get on with my day and my work. And especially in the last 2 years, due to pandemic, when you are all working from home and working remote or online, you spend majority of our time, or we spend majority of our time on the internet and using our gadgets. So with this being said, let me tell you something which really happened a while ago when I was getting on with my day. Now it might sound like a rant, but this is exactly what happened. So one of those days when I was sitting and working with this particular report and I had to send a mail, for some reason my mouse got jammed. And you know, the natural instinct, this mouse I'm talking about, this mouse got jammed. So the natural instinct was to kind of bang it on the desk or move it around or switch on and switch off these days when it is all Bluetooth connected and all that. And then I realized that it ran out of battery. Yes, this mouse also can be charged and has to be charged to make it efficient. I plugged it in and I was waiting for it to get some charge so that I can get on with my report and send out the mail. But that thought kind of took me to a lot of questions. You know, they say, right, when you are waiting is when you get some silliest or stupidest questions for which you don't have answers. Yes, they are questions, but they don't matter when we are getting on with our day-to-day affairs. But that time when I was sitting and waiting, this question struck to me. And that was, how did this mouse come into being? How did somebody think of a mouse? And how or why they named it the mouse? So I went on immediately. My keyboard was still there. So I tried to use my keyboard and open the Explorer and went about searching. And the Google search gave me this. It was in 1964, Douglas Engelbart of SRI International for the first time came up with the concept of a two-dimensional mouse. Yes, where the mouse can be rolled up and down or side to side, but not at once, either one way or the other way. It was Douglas Engelbart of SRI International. It was commercially introduced or viable for people from Microsoft or Apple or anywhere in the year 1984. I think more can be watched in this video, which I'm going to link here, and you can watch and understand the history of the mouse. That's not the topic here. So I got my answers when I went into Google and I searched. It also told me that it was Xerox who kind of evolved the mouse when they were working on their project called Alto, where they came up with the first time, or for the first time, the concept of the ball mouse. You know the ball mouse? Where in this case it was a 2-dimension, but the ball mouse is more like a 3-dimension. It can go anywhere, as we used to use the earlier version of the mouse. Now, of course, it has become wireless and it has become optical resistance, or that infrared and all that. But the point here is, that is how the mouse evolved. And why do they call the mouse? It is not because of the body, it is because of the wire which was connected to the main frame. So that wire resembled a tail of the rodent, and that's how they named it the mouse. Now, when this was happening, my thoughts were going crazy. I'm like, wow, so much history to this particular single piece of equipment which we use day in and day out, and we don't know much about. But then it took me to another plane, another level of consciousness, where I started asking some more questions. So, what if Douglas Engelport, while creating the mouse, had a conversation? I mean, he's a creator, right? And he will be very excited for this creation, like all of us when we create something, and we are so excited to show that to the world and to take it forward to the world. We are so passionately involved. I said, what must be the conversation between the first mouse and its creator? So I was waiting for the mouse to get charged, my mouse, and then I was just thinking aloud all these things, and my brain was kind of connecting all this. And then I thought, well, he will be as usual excited about his creation. And he's going to go for a patent, and he's going to make it commercially viable. So all that money and commercialization apart, he will be also passionately involved with his creation. And there I thought, okay, if I made the role play, maybe Douglas Engelport, the creator of the first mouse, would have had this kind of a conversation. Now, indulge me in this imaginary conversation, but I think there is something to learn and to take away from this, and that's why I'm making a video to share that with you. Well, for starters, the creator would have said, you know what? I know you from where you didn't even exist. I mean, today you are in this particular shape with a box and the wire attached, and there is a ball underneath and it moves and it is connected. But I know you from a place where you were not even this, you were just a thought. You didn't even exist in a physical dimension. So today you are here and you will be going out into the market. Remember these few things, because that is the thought with which I created you, and I think you need to live up to this particular creation. And then he goes on to say, remember the first point. You are only an instrument. You are a tool, nothing more. And your job is to do what the person who is handling you do it, or wants you to do it. So you are a tool. Remember that. Do not forget. Second, he talks about sometimes you may wonder where you will go wrong. What if I open the wrong window? What if I close the right window? What if I do something which can be blamed on me later? It is natural. But you can't help it. You really can't help it. So remember that. You're not perfect. I have not created you to be a perfect piece. So you have your imperfections. Number 3, the point here which you have to understand is you are subjected to a lot of judgment and frustration by your user. Yes. As in my case, all this creativity and thoughtful imagination is coming from the place when my mouse stopped working. When I had to plug it in, and before I plugged it in, I banged it on my desk, I tried to move it on, and I wondered what happened. So sometimes your user will feel frustrated using you. You got to bear with that. You got to take it with a pinch of salt. Now this is the creator talking to the mouse. So 3 things, right? Number 1, you are a tool, you are an instrument. Number 2, you are imperfect, you are not perfect. Number 3, you got to take anything and everything that comes your way with a pinch of salt. Number 4, and the most important thing, he would have said, don't get carried away by your external surface, because the most important piece inside you is the thing which is inside you, your core, that ball which moves in 2 dimensions or 3 dimensions. Without that, you will be useless. Irrespective of the color, the shape, the size and all that, it does not matter. So be careful and protect your core. And last, the 5th point, the creator talks to the mouse and he says that you can be used anywhere, by anyone, and for anything. Yeah, people can use you to write a program, people can use you to open a window, people can use you to send a mail, people can use you to play a game, whatever it is. Whatever they employ you for, your focus should be to do it to the best possible capacity you have. If you focus on these 5 things, you will make me proud. And then he lets the mouse get on with commercial production, and the rest is history, where computer technology, interactive computing came into being thanks to the mouse. So I was sitting there and wondering, while my mouse was charging, as to this kind of a conversation between the creator and the mouse must have happened, and that's why it is so powerful and it is so successful today. My whole work has come to an end because of this particular mouse right now. Then, as I was thinking and I was checking constantly about the level of charge, can I use my mouse, another thought struck my mind. And that was, what if I was the mouse and my creator will have the conversation with me? What if my creator, the almighty superpower, when creating me and before sending me out to the world, would have had a conversation? What would that be? And you know what? I don't have to tell you anything new, because every single thing which the creator of the mouse had spoken is applicable even to me. In fact, for that matter, is applicable to you, to everyone. Just go back quickly. The first thing is, you are a tool. You are only an instrument. Now, when we know this, then why do we need our egos? Why do we need that feeling of fulfillment, saying, I am the Sutradhar, I am the doer, I am everything? No, I am just the tool. I am just the instrument, and I get to do things through me, not because of me. Second, as the creator said, that sometimes you will be doing wrong things, because I have not created you as a perfect piece. You are imperfect. You are full of imperfections. So bear with that imperfections. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't second guess yourself. Don't be skeptical. Just do it genuinely. You're not perfect. I think even we are not perfect. We are all imperfect beings, trying and striving towards perfection, isn't it? Third, sometimes people are not happy with whatever we do. They blame us, they get frustrated with us, and they even give us very, very hard feedback. What we have to do is take it in our stride and go forward and take that feedback with a pinch of salt, like just how I did. I banged my mouse and I plugged it in and I was waiting furiously and frustratedly, but then the poor mouse took everything and then went on, because it knew that once it is charged, I'm going to enjoy it. So same with us. Once we know that we are not perfect, and once we know that we got to take everybody's opinions and feedback with a pinch of salt without losing our self-confidence, I think it's all fine in the end. Number 4, what is inside of us is more important, our core, than the size, the shape, the color, all that packaging. We got to always protect our core. And that is the most important thing. Like that ball in the mouse, which is the most important piece of the mouse, our core is the most important piece of us, of our existence. And last but not the least, you may play different roles to anyone, to everyone, every time, and any place. Yes, I'm a mother, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a lover, or I am an entrepreneur, I'm a teacher, I'm a businessman, or I am a dancer. Different roles we play. Whatever role we play, are we playing to the truest ability, to the fullest potential, and more importantly, are we playing it with our authentic self? Yes. That is the question. That's what the creator of the mouse said to the mouse, right? Whoever uses you, for whatever they use you, you be yourself. You be true your purpose. Find your purpose and live your purpose. Our creator also would have had the same conversation. Whatever may be the role you play, find your purpose and live your purpose. So as my head was running away with all these thoughts, my mouse indicated that it was ready to be used. So I was brought back to my work, my report, my email. But then that simple trip which I took for maybe 15 odd minutes made me realize that there can be life lessons for taking if we have the eye to observe. In my case, it was a mouse. In your case, it may be anything. Maybe this video will remind you of something. But the fact here is, friends, there is a conversation that has happened between us and our creator. Can we tune in to that conversation and then find our purpose to live our purpose? Thank you so much for watching CSK Speaks.